you would have been the best branch in South Africa. In fact, these fights would have never happened. Because white people were going to always put you in your position somehow without even speaking. That's the first point I want to make. Nobody amongst us is going to help us uproot ourselves from being socialized as people who cannot conduct our own affairs with excellence and quality if the ways in which they do things satisfies the very idea. The second point I want to make, and probably the last, has to do with liberation movements. So all organizations in the history of South Africa's liberation that have taken a decision to challenge and destroy white supremacy always end up fighting amongst themselves. Let's take stock. The first organization to take that conscious decision that no, what is to challenge white supremacy? You challenge white supremacy by demanding the land, but also a general language of we don't need white people. Whether they're here or they go, it doesn't matter. The people who have spoken such a politics in the past, their organizations have somehow always ended up in internal chaos. So the first one is the PAC. What do you know about the PAC except Robert Mangaliso Sobukwe? You've never even watched him speak. You've never watched him address like Nelson Mandela. You've never heard a lot about him. He led one of the most powerful organizations in the late 1950s, early 1960s that threatened white supremacy in the most powerful ways we have ever seen. The way to destroy the PAC was not, to arrest all of them, put them in Robben Island for 50 years or something. As soon as they got to exile, they were killing each other. The best medicine of white people is always to make black people fight amongst each other. As soon as they get closer to liberation, as soon as they get closer to the horizon of their dreams, they turn on each other. So you can't say you love black people, but you find it easy to beat them up. You can't say you love black people, but you do not fight against the conditions that make black people hate themselves. You can't say you love black people, but you're not fighting against the conditions that make them a despised race. It must be very difficult, extremely difficult, to find yourself in a situation where you are adrenaline high, fists up, ready to cause pain on a black body. There's no revolutionary like that. The first failure of a revolutionary is a person who finds it easy to cause pain on black bodies. That's why the CIC on Human Rights Day says, you can't say you are black and you steal from black people. You can't say you are black and you rape. You can't say you are black and you kill black people. The two don't reconcile. Because what is blackness? What is to be black? To be black is to fight against the usage of the color of our skin as a means of our oppression. Anybody who is not doing that is not involved in a black liberation project. So, I'm just advising you that, you know, I live with the commander-in-chief every day. I work with him. I work with the deputy president every day. And we disagree a lot. I agree, sometimes some of us even think, no, but we are doctors, you know. Okay, sometimes we get some arrogance of, you know, vet's arrogance. You know it. You come across it. Yeah, vet's pride, like, yeah, well, you know. And then we start. You know, the national chairperson of the EFF is from Wits, the deputy president is from Wits. So sometimes we just stand in the corner and say, there's only one university here in South Africa. Yeah, and then others get very hurt. Yeah. You think you are bad. Huh? You think you are bad. Colonial University. Which one is not? Which one is not? If you're going to go to a colonial university, go to the best. And we start fighting. But sometimes we disagree about even strategy and tactics over the organization's direction. Robust, Chief, you should walk into the war council. You'll think we are enemies. But it's a debate. It must be that fierce, because at the end it must come out with the best idea. The best idea must go through the hardest fire. Not even a single day. Not even when we had Mungitama in the EFF. Knowing that this thing is a rat. It is sold. Never in a single day have we ever beaten each other up. Because the person that beats